Good morning and welcome to the Urban Parliament on 94.5 Urban Radio Enugu. Glad to have you join us on the Tuesday session of the Urban Parliament. Today is Tuesday, the 10th day in the month of March 2026. Glad to have you join us as we look at critical issues of national importance, issues that border politics, governance, economy, and the social well-being of Nigerians. And these issues, we bring them to the front burner. We dissect these issues and champion a new way forward. And like you all know, that the urban parliament is incomplete without the views of our dear parliamentarians. So time will come in for our esteemed parliamentarians to call in and contribute to our conversations this morning. Just ensure that you state your views in civility, backed with verifiable facts. I am Chioma Onwasamba. I gladly welcome you all to the Tuesday session of the Urban Parliament. On today's session, we intend to look at a conversation we started last week and we looked at it yesterday. These particular issue developments just keep coming up, and so it's basic that we look at it again this time around and looking at the recent developments that has erupted since yesterday up until this morning. Today we'll look at the state of the nation and this time heightening hardship in Nigeria. That's what we're looking at. We've seen as of yesterday that the price of petrol has increased in several filling stations across Nigeria. On my way to work this morning, a particular filling station, I had to check what the fuel price is about 1,250. Another one is selling about 1,300 naira per liter. And this is as a result of the international crisis ongoing in the Middle East between the United States, Israel, and Iran, and it has significantly impacted the supply of petrol, especially in the Strait of Hormuz, where 20% of petrol transportation is being done. And right now, the suspension of petrol along that strait has stopped, which has resulted to the global increase in petrol price. As it stands right now, the international petrol price stands at about $100 per barrel. In this issue, we do know that Nigeria is a country that is heavily dependent on petrol products for several of its daily activities, likes of transportation, power generation, and economic activities. And we do know that the consequences of this is imminent and far-reaching. And already the rise in global crude prices has begun to trigger adjustment in domestic fuel costs, with the Dangote refinery and other marketers reviewing their depot prices. Yesterday evening, we saw that the Dangote refinery has again adjusted its fuel price, selling at the rate of 1,175 naira, while that of diesel sells at 1,620 naira per liter, marking a third upward adjustment within a single week. And yesterday, we saw that the Petron, that is the Petroleum Products Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria, Petron, had warned that if these international tensions, this global tensions continues, that Nigeria may witness a huge surge in petrol prices. They sell within 2,000 naira to 3,000 naira per liter. We do know that as a time when millions of Nigerians are already grappling with inflation, rising transportation costs, and declining purchasing power, there is a lot of question that is confronting Nigeria as a nation. And these questions are unavoidable, and it is, how is Nigeria, or how is Nigeria's economy ready to withstand another global oil shock? And we do know that the people that ultimately bears the brunt of this is Nigerians, is the masses, are the consumers. So today on the Urban Parliament, we will x-ray this matter again and then see what we Nigerians can do as it stands right now. So join me on today's session of the Urban Parliament. It promises to be another interesting conversation. this morning, I'm being joined virtually by a social reformer and a public affairs analyst in the person of Evangelist Dr. Joseph Agbo. Good morning, Evangelist Agbo.
Yeah, good morning, Choma. And how is urbanized radio station?
Well, urbanized radio station is trying to stand tall because what is happening is also affecting us right now. We do know that we need petrol to function. We need electricity to function as well because, there is no electricity and then the price of fuel is high. So we're trying as much as possible to stand tall, if I may put it that way.
Good morning, urbanized. Good morning to all, wherever you are listening to us this morning. Just come and let's converse again. Let's discuss again. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Evangelist Tabo, you've heard all that I've read out, and I believe you've been following the developments happening in the Middle East and how it is critically affecting us economically and otherwise. Let's start with what we view as what is going on and how it affects us generally as a Nigerian, as a nation.
Yeah, thank you very much once again. And certainly, we know many of us who have been part of this discussion over the years know exactly why this is like this. This is not the only country that uses petroleum products. This is not the only country, for example, that is an oil producing country. Nigeria is supposed to be the sixth largest producing oil nation in the world. And we buy every oil product that we use, except recently when Dangote came on board.
Mm.
As long as you have an economy that is not productive, you are going to have this problem. Oil is now selling over $100 per barrel of crude oil. Now, Nigeria does not have her own refinery to refine the crude oil that she has. You have oranges in your house, Choma, and then you don't know how to produce it, don't know how to extract the juice from the orange. And then you sell the orange to somebody who now prepares the juice and returns it to you. And then you pay. Sometimes 3 times, sometimes 4 times more than you would have paid if you are the one that extracted the juice of your orange. That is what is happening. And when people say, how can something that is happening in the Middle East, the oil business, they call it the black gold, is an international network. Many people don't even know that the United States has more oil reserve than Nigeria. It's just that it's not enough because they know what they use the oil energy for. They know the kind of energy they draw from the oil sector. And so when this kind of things happens, it's like a chain. It's a chain reaction. It's like when you go and tie a chain on top of a tree, and that chain is like 2 kilometers away. The moment you draw that chain, no matter wherever you are, that tree is going to shake. The branch is there will be a movement. And that is what is happening in Nigeria. When you have a nation that don't care, I've asked this question for like maybe in the past 10 years. How did we get to the point where no single refinery that we have is working and somebody is getting paid for working in those refineries? How did we get? I've heard people compare what happened during the Gulf War and what is happening now. But that is as a result of lack of understanding, because that time when the Gulf War was on, crude oil increased, Nigeria earned a lot of money from it, okay? I remember when we were asking IDB what happened to the $12 billion oil, Gulf War oil went for. But that time Nigeria had refineries that were refining domestically. So we are not bothered about the finished product from the crude oil because we could refine our own with all the hundreds of byproducts from the crude oil. But now we do not. And the Dangote that now went and built one, those who have held us down over the years decided to sabotage. That's what I'm seeing is just a sabotage. To even sell the crude oil we have to Dangote became a problem. Only in Nigeria would this kind of thing happen, and we are just calm. It's amazing. But that is exactly what is happening. As long as we do not have a refinery that can refine the product, we must depend on refined products from abroad. One, two. As long as the refinery that is Dangote is touted to be the biggest refinery in Africa, as long as it does not get enough, it's supposed to get like 13, what do they call it? But they give him
5 cargoes.
5 cargoes, good, 13 cargoes, and they get 5. Only in Nigeria will it happen. We are a ministry, we have a budget of 300 and something million, and 30 million will be released in a year. Only in Nigeria will this happen. So as long as the Dangote that says he has the capacity to serve Nigeria and even provide refined products to African countries and other nations, as long as it's not getting enough, we will, and as long as he keeps buying from abroad, we will keep paying more. And this is just because we have a leadership that has refused to think. I say refused because it's deliberate. It's not as if they don't know what to do. They just don't want to do it for some other private or personal reasons.
And you can imagine if Dangote refinery wasn't here, I mean, the price of petrol would have been higher than what we're experiencing right now. And just like you'd mentioned, the cost or the price of petrol internationally is over $100, about $110, and all of that. Now, with what is happening and how it has trickled down to Nigeria, one would wonder if it is not resolved, what are the economic consequences that it will bring to us? And how do Nigerians begin to call out its leaders? Or what should Nigerians even do at this point in time? Because transportation has already increased. And we do know that once there is an increase in price of petrol, it generally affects everything. Goods and services skyrockets, and even those that even have the products who have not even gone out to buy the product now that it's high will also increase their price. So what should we start doing? You said that Nigeria has been a consumption nation instead of a production nation, and our refineries are not functioning. I mean, we have the president who is the minister of petroleum, and the issues like this happen. Is it that Nigeria hasn't learned lessons as it concerns issues such as this?
Choma, I think sometimes I am at a loss how to describe Nigeria. I mean, Nigerian citizens. At one end, you will say we are the most patient people in the whole wide world to govern.
Most patient.
Yes, at one end of the bar.
Okay.
Maybe at the right side of the bar. Now, but when you stretch to the other end of the bar, the left side of the bar, you will see that perhaps Nigerians are the most docile and naive citizens that you can find anywhere in the world.
Why so?
Because these kind of things that we are seeing happening in Nigeria cannot happen even in Benin Republic, and they will take it. Benin, that is the next, you just get to Badagry and you walk across. Or you get to Borno, you walk across Niger. Some of the things that are happening here cannot happen there, and they will just be watching. So I'm at a loss. Is it that we are patient, or that we are just docile? Anything they throw at us, we swallow. So at the end of the day, truly, Choma, I don't ever blame our leaders. So honestly, I'm finding it difficult to really blame our our leaders. Allow them to do what they are doing. Choma, you know that 2024 budget, part of it has come to 2025. And part of the 2025 own, they said is it 30% that has been done 2025, pushed again to 2020. Where do you ever see this kind of thing?
I have a three budget running concurrently.
I know that deficit spending is a way of managing an economy during the time of recession. But for crying out loud, we did not do this in 2010. I'm talking about 2010 because this was 2009 to 10. This is at least the latest period of recession that we had that many people can, recall.
During Obasanjo's regime.
That many people can recall easily. So we did not do this kind of deficit spending during that time. But also, this regime or this administration has borrowed more money than all the monies borrowed by Obasanjo, and or let me say borrowed by Goodluck Jonathan and Tinubu put together. We posited this argument. I have studied Nigeria like the back of my hands and the front of my hand. When they were talking about this oil subsidy thing, removal of fuel subsidy, I gave an example that time. I said, those of us who are civil servants or public servants, if you want to achieve something, you go and take money from the bank and get that thing done. The banks will squeeze you, no problem, but you get the money done. You know why? Because before the salary that will enter your pockets will come, they would have taken their own. You know that if they give you that money and they ask you to be releasing it to them, one or two other things can just come and take it. But because you already know you don't have a choice, that money must be deducted at the end of the month. But if allow Nigerians to enjoy this subsidy, the poor man to enjoy this subsidy, that they will still collect this money from the pockets of Nigerians and they will still mismanage it, they will steal it, they will misuse it. Choma, is that not what is happening now? With all the monies that are coming into the pockets of our leaders, how are they being used? They are sharing them as prayers. They are sharing them as prayers to their account. And we watch these things and we keep quiet. The reason is because we are either docile or we are too patient. But I don't think there's there is, when I was in Lagos, there is something my bishop used to call humility. Humility is the positive one. He said humility is when you become very stupid and you pretend you are being humble. He said this one is not in English language, but I will coin it. It's humility. I don't know whether we are naive, docile, or we are being patient. But I don't think this is patience. Until we decide that we are no longer going to take this is going to continue. All these people who are going on strike, how come they have not gone on strike and told them, look, you don't get our refineries working. Look at the kind of story we are talking about in NNPC. Only in Nigeria will this happen. And people will still be watching. And they will still use us to go and do the odd jobs. Who will they take to do the odd jobs and they say no? Will they come out to go and do it? No, they will not. It is still from amongst us that they are going to go and pick someone who is going to do this. Nigerians don't have lights. Nigerians don't have fuel is high. Nigerians, you go to bed. Now food that has gone down is now coming up again. I don't know if you have noticed.
Yes, it has.
Good. Food prices are coming up now again.
Generally, products and services are high at the moment.
No food, no light, no electricity. I mean, no fuel, petrol. And you know that our life is crude oilized, if I can use that. Our life is petrolized. Everything stands and collapses with the fuel. And that was why I said, allow Nigerians to enjoy the poor man to enjoy this fuel subsidy, whatever he says subsidy. The same people who told Jonathan that there was no subsidy now say there is subsidy. Our leaders are just deceiving us. And we are the ones who are helping them to deceive us. Because they will give us. I was listening to Daniel Buala the other day and I could not, I just felt like throwing up. What does a man have, Choma, where you cannot own up for what you did or what you said and probably apologize? Is it not more honorable than to deny yourself? So at the end of the day, so it's people like this. You want to be SA. You want to be PA. I asked them the other day in Ebonyi, I was on radio, I was asking them, I said, okay, all of you that we are doing the odd jobs for all these leaders, now that it is time for local government chairmanship, did Dave Umahi go to buy form for you? He went and bought for his son. He went and bought a form for his son, husband. Did he carry ballot box? Did he do talkery when the election was on? No. You have done it. You have done all the odd jobs for them. And when the chiefs are down, they sideline you. So I'm talking to the Nigerian youths. As long as we continue to avail ourselves for them, this situation will continue. But they say no. And many of us have said no to some of these things. And we suffer it, but no problem. I feel comfortable that I'm able to satisfy my conscience by refusing to do what I know is wrong, just to be able to get one appointment or the other. So at the end of the day, it is, we are the ones who will decide whether this thing will continue. We are being choked. And people are still campaigning for those who are dealing with us. What are you doing that? Because they are sharing the oil money. That's the only reason.
All right, Evangelist Tabo. Now, with the rise of this oil, I mean, Nigerians feel that it's all to have sort of boost our economy in reality, and citizens can sort of feel the benefits. But because of our total reliance on imported refined fuel, it seems like the burden it will result to increasing in fuel cost. What do you view about this? Is Nigeria not supposed to benefit from this? Or how would you...
That's the point I made earlier, that ordinarily during the Gulf War windfall, that when the oil increased, Nigeria got a lot of, I mentioned $12 billion. I remember the argument, I remember the battle with the IBB that time. But when we are refining at home, 4 refineries we are up and running. Kaduna, Warri, Port Harcourt. They were all functioning. These refineries were working. So we didn't need foreign exchange. So the increase in oil revenue brought us foreign exchange. Okay? Our foreign reserve got boosted. But this time around, we need to import. We need to import. If Dangote can build, I think it was 2015, Choma, Niger Republic built a refinery. That time I remember discussing it on radio then, 2015, 11 years ago. That refinery cost them $60 million to build. Who are they building the oil for? The refinery for? But yeah, somebody will steal $60 million and we'll talk about it. And after about some days, the thing will fizzle out. Nigerians are dying in the hands of people, their own people. And you're wondering about, what about, go and kill 3 people in Britain and see whether there will not be a national day of mourning. Let 3 people die in Israel. And let us see whether the Israeli authority... But yeah, Nigerians are dying in thousands. The blood of Nigerians are littering the streets. And our leaders are talking about elections. They are talking about coming back Nobody's bothering about the fact that, I mean, Nigerians are dying in hundreds, in thousands. People will be kidnapped, and people who are those who are doing these things, don't they have access to them? They do. But because we are internally or eternally dependent, that is why we are not getting anything from whatever will be added to crude oil reserve for Nigeria. Because the day-to-day service that will be provided by electricity products, Nigerians are not enjoying it because we need to import. And the only refinery that somebody has managed to build, you can see the shenanigans they did with Port Harcourt refinery. It's only in Nigeria this thing can happen. It cannot happen in other place. They just did fraud, and they said the refinery is working. It's not. The refinery is not working. Did somebody come to tell us that we now have Nigeria air? What happened to the person? Nothing. So until we as citizens decide that we can no longer have this thing, it will not stop. They will still be talking about the election.
Evangelist Abo, you've talked about the interconnectivity with this petrol and the electricity. Nigerians are already been mourning with the level of electricity we are getting right now. Despite that, a lot of persons have been put in different bans, and now there is no electricity band. People are struggling to get at least 4 or 5 hours of light every day. Electricity is low, fuel price is high, and all of that. Now, what would you suggest the people to do at this point? Because I mean, one would have looked at, okay, the government's coming out to put up a sort of a subsidy-like intervention if this petrol increases. And we are not seeing anything substantially coming out from the government as it stands right now, despite that some committees are somewhat set up to look at the issues that are affecting electricity from the generation supply component to the distribution supply component. But we're not seeing anything happening right now, despite that, yes, we remember the campaign promise of the president saying that if I don't give you light, all right, if I don't give you steady power supply in quote, all right, that you should not vote for me. And right now, Nigerians are suffering. And we don't know that electricity connects to investments. I mean, we are encouraging foreign investors to come in, but they come in and they look at the operational cost and see that it's something that it can't continue. We see businesses closing, we see businesses unfolding as a result of the operational cost, and electricity we know is still tied to it. So, at this point, what do you suggest the Nigerian people to do? Should they go ahead to protest? Should they go ahead to demand accountability? What should they do? Because for you, you're saying that Nigerians are somewhat patiently unbothered or patiently docile, if I may put it that way. So, are you saying that Nigerians are not yet tired? They have not yet been pushed to the wall? Because you've mentioned nations that when issues like this happen, they will do something. I mean, I've heard lots of persons say, look at what happened in Kenya, look at what happened in Nepal, look at what happened in South Korea. But in Nigeria, issues like this may not happen. So what would you now bring up at this point?
Choma, you know the problem I have in this country is that they have used religion and ethnicity to blackmail us.
That's a major problem for you?
That is the central problem. If only we can close our eyes to the religious and to the ethnic. I don't have problem with religion. I don't have problem. I belong to the Igbo ethnic group. I don't have problem with it. It's just that I will not. Choma, let me give you this example. In 2023, we went for a conference in Port Harcourt. And our brother, our Reverend Father, very Reverend Father, he has written more than 50 books. More than 60 as a matter of fact, Reverend Father John Ode. He presented the keynote address to that conference because the conference was dealing with values. And while he was presenting the keynote, he referred to the election that took place that year. This was November. I think this was November 2nd. He was presenting that keynote, 2023. And he was referring to the election that brought in the current president. And when he finished the presentation, some of my colleagues in the department in philosophy, it was a conference of the Association of Philosophy Professionals of Nigeria, APON, who are Yorubas, began to attack Father John Ode. I watched that happen for 3 days. And then I dropped a voice note for them. And that voice note just sent everybody to go and keep quiet. I asked them, when on 24th June 1993, Babangida annulled June 12th election, and I walked with a placard from Festac Town on the 25th, from Festac Town to Unilag, a placard where I wrote IPP, their Maradonic and despotic antics are dangerous to Nigeria's corporate existence. You are obviously a security risk. So do me a favor, commit suicide. Very big placard. It's still in our house today at Festac. That placard is still there. I asked them, I said, did I carry this placard because I was a Yoruba man? Did I carry the placard because Abdullah was an Igbo man? I carried it because I felt that Babangida has done something wrong. And when I got to Unilag, this same Omoyole Shore, he saw that placard and he told me, he said, if you carry this one outside, they will give you 1-bedroom flat at Panti. That's police headquarters in Lagos, CID. And I told him I walked with this placard from Festac Town to Unilag. He just shook his head and left my room. When I dropped this information on that platform, everybody kept quiet. I said, what John Ode is saying is normal. If not for ethnicity, you see, Choma, I have traveled around this country and it pains me the way the country is going. There are only 6, there are 19 states in the north, right? There are only 6 of them that I have not traveled to. 6. There are 17 states in the south. There are only 2 that I have not traveled to, Bayelsa and Kwara. Every other part of this country, I've traveled to it. And you will see the diversity. I used to enjoy traveling, going to those places. You see different cultures. But when you now come, ordinarily, the battle that I'm facing here in Ebonyi, for example, I am the coordinator of victims of EEDC overbilling. There's nothing that we have not done. Yes, there are issues with the generation, the transmission, and the distribution of electricity. Why would a country like Nigeria be struggling with between 3,000 to 5,000 megawatts when Egypt has 55?
When we're not even getting up to 5,000 as it stands right now.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said between 3 to. Egypt generates 55. How come they're able to generate it? How come we are unable to? This whole thing is just leadership. And trust the distribution companies. You know that I have said it severally. The worst thing that happened to electricity distribution is this banding. It's the biggest fraud that hit electricity. You don't have nose, you want to take snuff. You cannot give 20 hours a day. I mean, you can't give 20 hours a day. And yet you want to collect 209 naira, 50 kobo. Why not give 10 hours and collect 100 and something? Or collect 80 something naira? But you want to collect 200 and you will not provide the service. Only in Nigeria will this happen. Some other places you will pay. You will keep paying. And we have taught citizens how to even get this thing done. But who is interested? So you see the fraudulent nature. If I know there are not enough electricity generated. Sure, I know. But why do you now pretend you can distribute 20, give somebody 20 hours a day when you know you cannot, but you want to collect the money? Is that not fraud? And somebody is doing it and getting away with it. If the citizens don't have light, the citizens don't have security, even in their own houses, they are being murdered on the road, they are being murdered. They have been slaughtered many years ago, I think 2015 or so. I said Nigeria is turning into a very huge abattoir. And the NBC started tackling the radio station. I said, is this not what we are witnessing? That was 11 years ago. Now imagine what is happening now. Are we not living in a gigantic human abattoir where people are no longer safe? I just told you how I used to travel to the... Can I do the same thing again now? Because everybody now, this one is not a question of you have kidnap value or don't have kidnap value. Those who will kidnap you for 200,000 or 1 million will also kidnap you. Then those who they will kidnap for 50 million. It's now a big business, and somebody is still seeking re-election to do what?
Okay.
If it is in some other clients, many of these our leaders that I prefer to call them dealers, they would have resigned. Who is going to resign here?
All right, Evangelist Dabo, let's get your last input before we go for the news break. With what is happening right now, and with the amount that Dangote is getting from the NNPCL, would you now suggest that the NNPCL should at this point supply more to Dangote than thinking of selling its petrol to other countries as it stands right now? I mean, to bring about stability in price of crude oil and every other product and services at this point.
You know that if it was not sabotage, tell me why they would prefer to sell crude oil outside than to Dangote that you know will also pay. He's not asking you to give him free.
Mm-hmm.
You now allow Dangote to buy crude oil from abroad. Choma, I said, the thing, when I think about what happens in Nigeria, it staggers my head. How would you now allow Dangote to be buying from abroad? Dangote, Choma, you need to take a look at what this man built in that place that is called Dangote Refinery. You need to take a look at it. That some other countries that have that thing, it will become their biggest income earner just for having it, because of the byproducts alone that will come out from it. So asking NNPC to sell more to Dangote, is that not what they should have done? But they don't want to do it because of sabotage. Because they are feeling that they are removing their mouth from where they are sucking Nigeria dry. And they feel that Dangote, who's I know that he's a capitalist, yes, but for crying out loud, when you don't have another choice, how will you complain? Ordinarily, yes, that should have been the answer. But how come they are not? Is it that Nigeria is not getting enough? I know that we have, what do you call it? We have agreements with certain countries to supply them these things and all that. But these things, if we have proper leadership, it can be renegotiated. Choma, I was reading something the other day, and I remember in the middle of the war with Biafra in 1968, the British Prime Minister was writing a letter to Gowon about the crude oil. That was their interest. Nigerians are fighting, we are fighting. And the British Prime Minister was writing to Gowon about the crude oil supply. And I said, what a people. And until we have leaders that can use tact to renegotiate and meander through the murky waters of international security, international order, we will continue to have this kind of thing. That is why they don't want people like P2B. Because number one, he will not steal. Number two, he will understand these things very well.
So for you believe that Nigerians are not yet tired as it stands, right? And they have not been pushed to the wall to demand for accountability.
That is my explanation. Because when a man gets to, you watch boxing, Choma. Yeah. When the boxer is at the rope square, that four corner, when he gets to that four corner, right, or they call it angle 90, when he gets to that point, when his back is on the rope, one rope on the left, one rope on the right, he doesn't have a choice but to fight back. He has to punch his way into the center of the ring. If he doesn't, he will be toppled overboard. Maybe Nigerians are still, that's why I said, are we naive? Are we docile? Or are we just being patient? I want to know which one. Maybe when we can no longer take it, maybe if a leader calls you to come and go and carry ballot box, carry it, run with it. Maybe you tell him, go and get your son to do it.
All right.
But because of the peanuts that they will give us, that they will give them, they will not do it. Maybe we have not suffered enough. That's my own theory. Because when a man gets to angle 90 in a boxing ring, he doesn't have a choice but to fight back. If he doesn't fight back, he'll be thrown out of the ring.
All right, Evangelist Abu, at this point we'll go for the newspaper and return. We'll continue this conversation. Do stay with us, dear parliamentarians. Operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) from its Enugu Zone Directorate have arrested a suspect defying by over an alleged 10 million naira land fraud in Enugu State. The Rivers State House of Assembly has dropped 4 of the 9 commissioner nominees submitted by Governor Siminalayi Fubara for screening and confirmation. Director General of the World Trade Organization (WTO) Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala has received the Guy Africa 2025 Global Champion Award in recognition of her leadership and contributions to global economic progress. Dangote Petroleum Refinery has once again increased the price of premium motor spirit (PMS), otherwise known as petrol, marking the third increase in just 1 week. The United States Embassy in Nigeria has issued a security alert, warning of a possible terrorist threat targeting U.S. facilities and American-affiliated schools in the country. In sports, a former Super Eagles coach, Adeboye Oniwenide, has died at the age of 88. On entertainment, veteran Nollywood actress and evangelist Eucharia Angonobi has shared the painful experience she endured during her marriage to her ex-husband, Charles Ibu. You're up to the minute in 94.5 seconds. I am Chioma Onwasonba. 94.5 Urban Radio Enugu. I am Choma Omasamba. Today we are taking a look at a conversation we started off yesterday, State of the Nation, and this time looking at the heightening hardship in Nigeria is based with the increase in petrol price and also lack of electricity as it stands now. Our guest, evangelist Dr. Joseph Abo, has critically looked at this and also look at ways to begin to address these issues as Nigerians as well. Well, it's time for our dear parliamentarians to contribute to what we are discussing this morning. Our phone lines are officially open at 0916 000 5945 or 0916 000 4945. What are your views? Also, you could as well send in your messages to our WhatsApp line. It's 09128 945 945. Good morning.
Great analyst, Abu, you are a great man. And good morning to all Nigerians. Igwe Otie is my name. I'm calling from Enugu.
Go ahead.
And Prof. Abu, we found ourselves in a very dangerous crossroads here in Nigeria. The problem of fuel increment, we are being forced maybe at the back and at the front. We thank God for Dangote refineries. The price is best anyway. But I believe the problem is problem of leadership failure. The problem is problem of bribery and corruption in Nigeria, that we cannot maintain our own refinery, that our own crews, we cannot manage it to see to it that what is happening as far as Iran and Israel will affect us so easily, more than those that are fighting the war. It is very, very unfortunate. Nigerians are helpless. We pray for God's intervention in this, because if we go to this way, our own brothers, our military men and women will wash us with the tear gas and bullets. And if we keep making moves, if we decide not to say anything, we will die of hunger and starvation. So it's a desperate situation. What again are we going to do? That to tell our leaders that we are not happy in a Nigeria where they cannot give us a fuel, in a Nigeria where they cannot give us power. Electricity is now maybe so epileptic and so erratic that we can no longer enjoy it. So honestly, I don't know how to. But all I'm saying is that for the fact that our own president is not even bothered, we so much invested in 2027 general election.
All right. Yes, good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling from. Hello.
Reverend, is a kind of question somehow to Abu and to many others, because things have been happening in Nigeria, and the comments and coming out from a lot of people, even when they are called as a guest, is that Nigerians are not that they are not tired yet, that Nigerians are not serious. The Nigerians are not this, they are not that, and all that. And my question has always been, what would Nigerians do? Looking at the nation, how it is structured, looking at the politicians, the leaders of this nation, looking at their mindset, their state of understanding and all that, their vision, and all that. Chairman, 2020, I think that was October 2020, some of the youth came out to actually fight against what was actually going on over the policing in the nation. In Lekki Tollgate there, a lot of them were killed. In fact, the leadership of Nigerians brought out military men who went and were shooting youths who were with Nigerian flags.
All right.
Out of
Okay. All right, I thank you for calling in. Hello, good morning. Are you there? Good morning. Okay. Hello, good morning. Hello. Yes, good morning. Welcome, Kingsley.
Yeah, to answer the last caller, I believe in what there's one book by James Hadley Chase titled Safer Dead. I believe that Nigerians should defy the barrier of God. You get me? Some time ago in Turkey, there was a coup by the military. But very unfortunate for them. The president was somewhere, and he was speaking to the citizen of the Turkey. And at the end of the day, the citizen moved against the military with their armored tanks and everything. And when they came in their millions and thousands in the streets, so the military had no option than to go back to the barracks. You get me? So Nigeria has come to a point that to know that the coward died many times for the dead, and the violent never taste of death but once. Of all the wonders we yet have had, it seems to me most trained men should still see that the necessary end come when it comes. It is high time that Nigeria should know that they should defy if people must die. Let there be revolution. In France, some time ago, in century or thereabout, there was a revolution in France, French Revolution, because of the cost of bread. The masses could not buy bread for their children. There was a revolution was sparked off. So now look at what is happening in Nigeria. We want a loaf of bread. We could not. We are buying at 350 naira before 2015, before the APC took over the mantle of power. The same bread of 350 is nothing.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you for calling in 0916 0005945. Keep the calls coming. Hello, good morning. Yes, good morning. Go ahead.
Thank you very much for the wonderful opportunity. Yeah, we are running a speciality government. The government, whereby our food subsidy, we are removed and use it for political gain, claiming smartness, by pushing the citizen to hardship. You remove food subsidy, you can't use it to stand a salary for the citizen. Then we are depending on outsiders. We are running a government under APC. A government that under APC was that we cannot boast of electricity. You know how many times national grid has failed since 2023 election of this APC to date. Which I've never experienced since my childhood. The national grid can fail more than 10 times in a month. What this thing happened? The government that you can see that the line has been flouted. Coming to our telecommunication, you make a call, find out only a lodge bid, more than 100 naira has been exhausted. Go to withdraw money from POS, they'll charge you, buying fuel, they will take tax. Everything you are doing, they will tax you. But still, the country remains stagnant.
Okay. Okay. All right, I thank you for calling in. We'll go for a quick break. We'll return to take more of your calls. Do stay with us.
Venue, the Eye Specialist Hospital, Tesh, 11 Church View, behind Parkland Hospital, opposite Old Adoration Ground, GRA, Enugu. For inquiries, call 0803-774-3539 or 0806-400-4255. To see the beauty in life with brighter future, let us unite for a glaucoma-free world. The Eye Specialist Hospital, Tesh, saving sight.
Did you score low in your UTME, or did you not sit for the exam at all? Or were you given a course that you didn't like? Hear this good news. Enugu State University of Science and Technology is making your career a priority. Come and study any course of your choice with us for 2 to 3 years with your 5 credits only, and move to one of our foreign partner universities in Europe to complete your course with partial scholarship. Do you want to study medicine, pharmacy, nursing, engineering, or business degree? Come and we shall support your dreams. No jam, no strike, no stress. Complete your degree in 3 years and get a good job abroad. Just choose your course and we shall do the rest. ESUT is in your best interest. Register and start lectures immediately. Hurry up before the space is filled up. You can visit us at JUDAP office, Third Front Building, ESUT Campus, Abani, or call 0906 417 0942. 0906 417 0942.
Please call them. The system is angry.
Healthcare Limited on 0805-387-8854 or 0805-387-8855 or 0805-387-8856, or we can visit their website on www.fithealthcare.com.
But I really need to buy land.
Leave that land. Let's go to beautiful Turkey to rest and check ourselves.
Keep your brand or business ahead of the competition on Urban Radio 94.5 FM Enugu. For advert placement, announcement, program sponsorship, and other businesses, contact the marketing department on 0806 367 3748 or 0803 521 3282 or 0812 112 6788, or you can visit us at number 3 Opa Street, Independence Layout, Enugu. If it is urban, do it.
The People Station. Yeah, man. Check my peoples. Let's just kick back a little bit.
Representing the People Station. We are Urban
94.5.
Stop taking her to download that song I told you now. And time to notify me on WhatsApp once it does that. Welcome back to the Urban Parliament on 94.5 Urban Radio Enugu. I am Choma Onwasomba. Today we are looking at the state of the nation with a heightening hardship in Nigeria as it concerns fuel and every other thing that is connected to it. We see that the price of fuel has increased, especially in the international market, selling about $110. And right here in Nigeria, we see that filling stations are already increased the price of their petrol. Some are selling at the rate of 1,250 naira to 1,300 naira per liter. And we do know that issues like this affect the prices of products and services, and so these issues has become a matter of a particular concern. That's why we are looking at it this morning of the Urban Parliament, and our guest evangelist Dr. Joseph Abo has looked at this critically, and we're still taking calls from our dear parliamentarians. 0916 005 945 or 0916 0004945. Those are the numbers for you to call. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Could you move away from your radio set, please?
Nigeria. I am a little toy. First subsidy. I ain't to Laro and Mekwe. I'm a law. I think I expect a lot of Tabata. PC Maragraph power, but the hammer hotch. Yamara, we bought a power. Let a governor sign Lille. As his governor, you know what you get out one day. Habata APC, one party system. And situation to Nigeria, last of Martinez of Mahat of Assemble. I grab one hand. But to Yando Madinala, I thought you're shining race process. Can I read it? First speech, not pitch. On your teaching. Before you go, like Nigeria, like so, like it as I like and mine. Kamala, before what? A revolution. No good. For that, what is Abala? They will not the same.
Hello, good morning. Yes, good morning. Welcome, Babuchi.
Because nothing is going. Because when you are fighting, everybody will be in down. In here in Nigeria, we're in down. The whole motor back, no fuel. As of now, they are telling 1,000 grams. I'm asking you to move the president of this very country. All these things don't come to surprise you. You know, what they want, something to happen. We have up to 5 refineries. None of them is working. We only hear 100 billion of error. All this error of music management. You know, not finding them. None of them. Does it mean that if Dangote don't have a refinery, that will be the total collapse for the nation? They will have up to 5 refineries in the country. I said this is a Sunday and media. If they are to fact, let us know fact and think it has committed.
Okay.
And up to the move, let's pardon us. This suffer too much. Are we talking terms of electricity? We don't have even light.
right, Baba too.
Everything you are on, everything is under you. Please, we are still taking. We are still taking you. Dunumbu. Please, sir. Babo is taking you. Pardon us for the best committed.
All right, Baba too. Thank you, Baba too, for calling in. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning. Yes, your name and where you're calling us from. Go ahead, Neil.
Chairman, we are really in trouble. We are really in trouble. You remember that when first subsidy was removed in 2023, they promised us that before September, our refineries are going to be fixed. Now, September 2023, September 2024, September 2025, and this is 2026. Nothing yet has been done. Shoma, until we have a stand, until we have to say, just like the analyst said, the evangelist, I will say, until we have a stand, these things will continue. Thank you. I don't have much to say.
Okay, thank you for calling in 0916 005 945 or 0916 004 945. Good morning. Yes, your name and where you're calling from. Go ahead, Basi.
No, therefore, I've always spoken like this, Evangelist Agbo. I have not seen him. I know he's a senior father. There is no country like Nigeria. I was born out of this country. I grew up out of this country. Tertiary institution after this country. I'm from Ebonyi State. There is no country where such a thing will happen and citizens keep quiet. In 1994, in one of the African countries, just announcement that they will privatize National Water Board to start selling water. Just a suggestion. The whole country, just suggesting, not even implementation, the whole country went away. In 1994, in one of the African countries, we try to pride ourselves that we are the giant of Africa. We are no giant anywhere. South Africa celebrated in 2001 20 years of no power.
Okay, we lost that call. Please do well to call us back if you can. 0916 005 945 or 0916 004 945. You could also send in messages to our WhatsApp line is 09128 945 945. Good morning.
Chama, good morning.
Good morning, Sir Bernard.
Yes, Abena from Transekule is my name. I greet Professor Dr. Joseph Abu, my brother. Joseph, I have a question. Who is the present current Minister of Petroleum in Nigeria? You know why I'm asking you this question? You made reference to what happened during Babangida's regime. I'm sure Babangida was not the Minister of Petroleum. Yet, the man that was in charge then, all of us know that Baba, made sure that things were working. Everything that was why that windfall of Gulf War, Iraq, and America, Britain versus Iraq, Saddam Hussein, because of they are suspecting his stockpiling chemical weapon, and they attacked him. That was heavy. Nigeria made money. We are not suffering as we are now. What is happening, the current situation now? So you find out that we have a problem. We have leadership problem. Who is our Minister of Petroleum? That is my question to my brother, Professor Evangelist Abu. Thank you.
All right, Sabina, thank you for calling in. We'll take messages here on our WhatsApp line. This one says, good morning, Chama. From all indications, it's only something unconventional that will solve the problem of leadership in Nigeria. The ruling class should pray they leave to tell the story. Peter from Abakaliki, okay? Good morning, Urban Radio and your guest, Evangelist Tabo. My request this morning is simple. What do we do? How do we do it? When do we do it? I ask of these questions because it's obvious that a crop of leaders we have are not going to change anything for the good of the struggling Nigerians. They are comfortable and must continue to be comfortable with their unborn generations. Chris from Achara Layout. Good morning, the anchor of the program, Choma, and the analyst. Okay, my take on this important life-touching topic is that the government at the center should immediately do the needful by reactivating refineries in Nigeria to save the citizens from this untold hardship now. I thank the analyst for his insightful analysis this morning, Reverend Elam Godwin from Abakaliki. Okay, good morning, Shoma and Evangelist Tabo. I am lovely from Transekulu. Well, it's quite unfortunate that what's happening in Iran is adversely affecting Nigeria in terms of the surge in price of petrol. Well, just like Evangelist Tabo said, it's either we, the citizens of this country, are patient, naive, or docile that we accept everything that is thrown at us. Well, Choma, you talked about holding our leaders accountable, but I prompted what is happening now of this administration. If you recall, during the campaign era of this government, there were several debates scheduled for them, but they kept escaping it and giving flimsy excuses. They know what they are doing. They have refused to think, just like the guest in the studio pointed out. We need to rise up to our responsibilities as citizens. Have a nice day. Okay. Good morning, Open Radio. People should stop complaining since you said that democracy is the best and you don't want military intervention and correct things and return to democracy for fresh breath. Abo Ono from Enugu. Good morning, Urban Radio. Sometimes when I hear Evangelist Joseph Abo speak, I wonder what exactly is the beef with Mazen Nambekano. These things Abo is saying and much more is exactly what Nambekano has been hammering on Radio Biafra consistently, and many other times he voiced his opinion until his arrest and detention. But Abo is a strong critic, okay? And today, everything he said, or everything he had said or is still saying, vindicates K. The Nigerian problem have long been identified, but we prefer to continue to analyze it instead of terminating it. Nigeria is an imperialistic state. Without the oppressors, imperialism is impossible. Okay. Good morning, Chairman, the analyst in the studio, Dr. Abo. I thank God for people like Dr. Abo. It was planlessness and the mismanagement that have kept us where we are. The oil wind fall of 1973 and that of 1991, all mismanaged. Today we are suffering. Our leaders can't learn. Benjamin from Naira Omateze. Okay. Good morning, Chioma and Dr. Joseph Abo. I'm Isaac from Gariki. I thank your guests for saying the truth this morning. Nigeria is in a state of recklessness and insincerity of our leaders. We don't have functioning refineries despite spending billions of naira in repairing the so-called refineries. It is so painful that we are heavily affected despite not being Iran that is involved in the conflict. Transportation fares have increased and this few days no electricity, all because of petrol. The only way forward is to take away religion and ethnic sentiments and carry out a powerful revolution just as French did in 18th century, which affected the whole world, but we are not ready because our lives are very precious to us. Okay. More messages here on our WhatsApp line. This one says, "Good morning, Sherma and the guest evangelist Joseph Abo." Okay. Sam from Wawa. I commend the guest for an elaborate and insightful view. The fact is, one of the ways we should have been able to change the leadership because of the problem we are having is leadership is through the ballot, but they have also turned that to their favor with their devilish manipulations. It's really a helpless situation. Thanks. Okay. This one says, okay, good morning, Urban Radio. Thank you for this insightful discussion. The issue is that this government has no soul. Otherwise, they should have set up a kind of temporal fuel subsidy for 2 months while the war in Iran wears out. They don't care about the people. On the other hand, Nigerians are one of the most plainly simple set of humans ever seen. I do not subscribe to the idea that the Nigerian leaders have beaten them into submission by weaponizing poverty, ethnicity, and religion. Those things are actually the reason why revolutions happened in other climes. Enough reason for everyone in Nigeria to close their ranks and say enough is enough. Joseph from Enugu. We'll get back to our guest, evangelist Dr. Joseph Abo this morning. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good morning, Chairman.
I believe you were listening to the calls and the messages I read out this morning. Yes, and one particular person asked the question, what do we do? How do we do it? And when do we do it? So let's get your reactions to that as you conclude.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me, first of all, you see, the thing about a program of social change revolutions happen suddenly, but before they happen, there is always a structure that is on ground that can pick it and drive it. That's why when you talk about the objective and the subjective factors, there are the objective factors that will bring about social change. They happen without anyone deliberately planning it. But the subjective factors are already structured by, that was exactly, I have said this before, that's what happened in 2020. There was no leadership for that thing that happened in 2020. If there was a leadership, there should have been a central leadership, a state leadership, and there should have been programs planned before that thing was ignited. So revolutions are not riots. They are not disturbances. Revolutions are usually led. That is one. Number two is that, Choma, you have heard me say this on air. I have belonged to 4 groups of people that have been disappointed with the church, the academia, and the civil society. A lot of people in the civil society are interested in attracting money. Otherwise, the real thing should have been that it is the civil society that should have driven this thing. What is happening to the Labour Congress? What's happening to the Students' Union? Under the military, when Olusegun Mayogu was the NANS president, I was with him when we had the SAP, Structural Adjustment Program demonstration in 1992 May. I was with him when he was arrested. We took over. That times, government will always have their candidates for Students' Union election, but they never win. They never win. But now, almost every market union, Students' Union election, government will bring candidates and they will win. People will collect money. That's why I said we are not tired yet. People will collect money and come and contest and win. And anything they are doing, if you want to do anything, as you are discussing it, they are already sending text to government house. During our days, it never happened. When we're having Students' Union election, government will always throw up their candidate, but they never win. You can ask Samuel Oleshore if you have contact with him. He was injected with a substance and he was dying in loot. We mobilized 25 buses from University of Lagos and we hit the streets of Lagos. We went after those people that did that thing. We went to their houses. But now, what is happening? Students, NANS can start this revolution, but where is the NANS? So if we don't have organized bodies that can decide, so all this talk about strike, this is the kind of strike that TUS and NSC will do, and you know that because the rest of the people will back them up, shut down the government, shut down going to work, all the markets shut down and stay at home. But if you try it, all the people who are leading people in all these markets, they are government appointees. And you say we are serious? We are not. And that's why when they want to buy people like us and we say no, they want to, Choma, one day I was talking like this. I don't know, a program I had on Urban Radio. And when I finished, somebody from my town called me and said, the way you are talking. I said, what is the problem, sir? Did I abuse anybody? He said, no. I said, did I say something that is not true? He said, no. He said, but the way you are talking, I don't you know you're supposed to be rector of one school now, but the way you are talking. You know what I told him? I said, well, if hiding the truth is going to make me rector, let me die by my blackboard in the classroom. So until we on our own decide, imagine, Choma, imagine all these big churches flying with aeroplane. Imagine their leaders meet one day, just one night, and start praying. They issue a communique. Give us a proper federation. Give us a proper election, or else we will call out our members from participation. Do you know what that will do? But they won't do it. Where is the same Adeboye that marched when Jonathan wanted to increase fuel? Where is he? Is he not alive? Why is he not marching? So, and he said, well, so this is the reason why the thing has not, by the time it gets to our neck, nobody will tell anybody. People will just come out without being mobilized by anybody. By then, but before that time, the structure would have been set. Those who will reap the benefits, and that's what happened to the coup of 1966. There was no program to take over and handle governance.
All right,
they just wanted to deal with these people who are stealing money. It's not enough.
Okay.
If assuming Choma, we have a structure where there are forces, within all the states. You come to Abakaliki, there is an evangelist about there. Can you begin to put people together so that anyone want to do anything? You see, the challenge I have is that violence is a problem-solving trap.
All right,
but our leaders are driving people to the same violence. Because that's the problem. They are driving them to, they think that Nigerians will always continue to remain docile like this. No. The thing will get to a point where they will not care. Somebody had said it. They will not care whether they lived or died. It's true. It was bread that caused the French Revolution of 1789. Bread. Because one king said, he called himself Lime or Start. That's French. I am the state. King Louis VIII said, I am the state. They said, you are the state, but okay. To tell you that we are the owners of the state.
All right, Evangelist Fabo.
That ignited it. What ignited the Jasmine Revolution in North Africa? Somebody, a graduate who had no job, was pushing a cart with fruits and everything to sell, just to make ends meet in Tunisia. And the army was passing, the police. They now beat him with Bulala. Why? And the man went to the filling station, poured fuel on himself and set himself ablaze. And that thing consumed 3 presidents.
All right, Evangelist Tabo, we've hit the top of the hour as it stands right now. Our time is fast spent. Thank you so much for your analysis this morning. We do hope that this issue has been resolved, because as it stands right now, I want an Africa, if I may put it that way.
Yes, that's there. I'm just warning Nigerians. They cannot, warning our leaders. This thing cannot, they think that this thing will continue. It will not continue. There's a place, these are human beings we are talking about here. They are not trees. There's a place they will get. And I'm praying it doesn't get there. Because if it gets there, they won't even be able to start their helicopter to leave.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Evangelist Dr. Joseph Abo, for your analysis this morning. And to our parliamentarians, thank you for contributions, those who called, those who sent in messages, and those who listened. We do hope that the right thing will be done, and be done as quick as possible. As it stands right now, there's really fire on the mountain. That is Asha coming up with fire on the mountain. Keep it as locked to 94.5 Urban Radio Enugu. The Urban Parliament returns tomorrow at exactly 9 a.m. I am Chioma Onwasuba. Good morning.